For the second part of this morning's show, we're doing our first ever phone-in interview, and we're lucky enough to be joined by Nebraska women's basketball senior point guard Lindsey Moore. Lindsey, how are you doing this morning?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, just surviving the Friday as best that I can. All right, we'll jump right in here. Obviously, right around the corner, we got the brackets coming out this next week. You guys are going to find out your March Madness fate. You're a senior on the team. I mean, how are you feeling coming into this last run through the postseason? And what are your feelings right now, as well as the feelings of some of the people on the team?
My feelings, I'm really excited the fact that we're able to play in the NCAA tournament for my senior year, but it's hard because you do have to win or go home, and I don't want our first game to be our last game, and it's just tough because I don't want this season to end, and so it's definitely a different mentality going into postseason than it would be regular season, because you always have your extra games, but now it's not promised.
Yeah, building off of that, you guys had the double-digit win streak this year. You started off a little slow, but you almost won out. You did a lot of things, and you beat some teams and had some blowouts in games that people might not have necessarily thought you were going to get the blowouts, and win some games by 20 points and just kind of do some things towards the end of the season that turn some heads. What do you think that kind of confidence does for the team and gives you the ability to think that you can really beat anybody in this kind of environment?
It does a lot for us confidence-wise, honestly. Just being able to be in a tough league and to do as well as we did, that definitely should help us carry over into the postseason, and in the Big Ten, it's a really tough conference, and with all the injuries that we should get in the NCAA tournament, it should give us confidence knowing that, we come from one of the best leagues in the country, so use that to our advantage type thing and take everything we've learned from those league games and put them in the postseason.
Another key factor, I think, in this year's run, too, is that last year, obviously you guys love competing and you would have loved to win the Big Ten title because, you have the 4 games in 4 days run, and that put a lot of wear and tear on the bodies, some stress fractures and things like that, and kind of ruined your hopes at making your run in the NCAA tournament. And so this year, you would have liked to have kept playing, obviously, in the Big Ten tournament, but you guys had a little bit more rest and you come into it relatively more healthy. What do those kind of things do to help you guys prepare more and that you guys can actually go to the practice court and work on some things, and it's not just worrying about who's healthy and who's even going to be on the court? You can just kind of focus on getting the job done.
It's nice. It's just really right now it's focusing on ourselves and getting better for the postseason. So, it's a good week to have. Honestly, you obviously want to be playing as much as you can so that way you don't forget what it feels like to play. But honestly, it's kind of nice to go back to the drawing board and kind of be like, hey, well, where are we breaking down and let's improve on that this week. So it's kind of nice.
All right, we'll move now to a couple more reflection type things, a little more some big picture type questions instead of just focusing on March Madness. So you've now had 4 much different years in your career here in Nebraska. You start with the undefeated team, then the injuries the next year, new faces last year, kind of exceeding expectations, and this year coming in with high expectations and deliver on a lot of different levels. So what's that been like, just all the different years and all the different things that you've seen in 4 much different years at Nebraska? I mean, if you would have told yourself 5-6 years ago that this is what you were going to be doing in college basketball, would you even believe that this is what your college career would look like?
Absolutely not. It's so crazy to know that, all the things that, the team and I have been able to accomplish, I think it's huge. And, even when we've been having, our down years or our rebuilding years, I think we've been putting, forth a really good effort and being competitive, and I just think that says a lot about, our coaching staff to know that they can get us ready for whatever is going to get thrown at us. And, my experience here has been the best 4 years that I could possibly have imagined. I couldn't draw it up any better than the 4 years that I've gotten here. So, I'm just really grateful and I'm really thankful, to be a Husker and to be a part of that. And, and to be put in the situations I was put in, starting my freshman year and even till now, it's been one of those things that's really been unforgettable for me.
Yeah, I mean, not just only the different team storylines and different outcomes for the teams of different years, but you come in as a freshman point guard on a senior-led team with a senior leadership that Coach already talked about for years afterwards. And then the next year you have Jordan come in, and that dynamic of you and her as kind of the young players on the team. Then last year all the freshmen come in, and that's a much different story. And this year you get to work with someone like Rachel and side by side with somebody obviously going to take over as point guard when you're gone and have that kind of one-on-one relationship. I mean, what's that been like? Just all the different personalities and all the different relationships you've gotten to have over the last 4 years.
It's really cool to be a part of, honestly, because you get to meet so many different people, but they all have like the common interest and the common goal. And Nebraska does a really good job of bringing in recruits. So it's been fun, and it's been interesting to look at how every team has been different. You won't ever have that same team again. Someone's got to leave, someone's going to stay. Like, it's just completely different. But it's been cool to see like that the value of like Husker basketball is like still there year in and year out, and and it's been cool to see like the growth in players. Like, honestly, just like my time here with our freshman class last year that are sophomores now, it's been really cool to see how they develop over this like year and a half that I've been able to spend with them.
All right, well, we'll wrap it up here with the last question. That's, again, another kind of big picture program type thing. And it's something that I think with Twitter and some of those little things, you've seen it a lot more, but it's always been there, is the role and the impact of people like the assistant coaches and the managers and the people who have scout duties and duties on trips and travels and little things like that. I mean, how much do you think people don't realize the amount of work and the amount of it's a whole team effort that you guys wouldn't be able to do the things you do. You wouldn't be able to prepare the way you would and practice the way you would if you didn't have that support staff. I mean, do you think that people don't quite understand the role of the managers and the background people on a program like the Nebraska women's basketball program?
It's huge because honestly, like everyone on our staff and down to our practice players and our managers, they do so much for us to help us be successful. So, they don't get the credit for it. I don't even think anyone knows their names. But we give them a lot of credit because without them doing what they do, then we wouldn't be as successful. If we want someone to go in and rebound for us, we just call them up and they go do it. So you might hear about how someone's going into the gym and putting up shots, but you never hear credit going to the rebounder or anything like that. And so, we just value their position a lot, and they help make us successful, as much as the coaches do for us that are getting the credit for it. They're right there because without them doing the things that they do, we won't be as successful. And, so I give them a lot of credit, and just everyone that works behind the scene, like Julie, our trainer, obviously, like we've had some injuries, in and out. And so it's been really cool to see like how fast she's been able to get us healthy and get us back out there. And it's just a small thing, but it helps completely. Like, always making sure we're taking care of our bodies and everything. So without people like that, like, you're not going to be able to play or perform at max capacity, really.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree with you more. I don't think a lot of people realize just how deep some of these programs, some of the workloads go on some of the support staff and people that don't necessarily get all the credit. Well, thanks a lot for joining us, and good luck the rest of the way here.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, well, that wraps up our segment here for Corn Fed Sports in the Morning. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back with more.